On June 14 at 8:42 a.m., Leanne Rimes walks into an emergency dental clinic after a crown literally pops mid-performance. Blood. Stage lights still hot. And the reason it happens makes even doctors pause. She finishes the song anyway. Smiling. Microphone steady. By 9:17 a.m., she's already in a treatment chair while fans replay the clip in slow motion, but that's not even the worst part. This isn't random. She has endured over 29 dental surgeries since childhood. Root canals. Bridges. Bone grafts. A decades-long battle most people never knew about, but that's not even the worst part. Everyone assumes it's cosmetic. Hollywood pressure. Perfect smile expectations. But insiders say the real issue traces back to a botched childhood procedure that reshapes her entire adult life. And that detail changes everything. Here's the contradiction. She looks flawless on red carpets at 7:30 p.m. Yet hours later, she's icing her jaw in silence. Glam versus reality. So why doesn't she talk about it sooner? Stay with this. By the end, you'll understand why this emergency becomes a health advocacy moment that ripples far beyond dentistry. And yes, there's one sentence she says that stops people cold. At 11:03 a.m., she posts a candid video. No filter. No glam team. She pulls back slightly and says, "This is what chronic dental trauma looks like." The comment section explodes instantly. Stop. Rewind that. Did you catch her wording? Not bad luck. Not accident. She says trauma. A medical term. Intentional. And that single word reframes her entire narrative. Trauma means long-term damage. Structural instability. Repeated reconstruction. It means living with the fear that at any moment, something could fail again, even under stage lights. And here's the number that hits hard: 29 procedures before age 40. Imagine scheduling your life around anesthesia appointments. Tours built between recovery windows. That's not vanity. That's survival. Meanwhile, fans debate online. Some accuse oversharing. Others share their own implant failures and infections. Within hours, thousands post photos of dental scars. The conversation shifts fast. But beneath the support is something darker. Chronic dental pain links to anxiety, depression, even isolation. She hints at nights spent awake, jaw throbbing, staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. She doesn't dramatize it. She whispers it. I've rebuilt this smile more times than I can count. That line lands heavy, because it's not metaphorical. It's literal. That sentence spreads across platforms in under 24 hours. Fitness influencers repost it. Dentists stitch it. Survivors of medical errors nod quietly. And suddenly, this isn't celebrity gossip anymore. Here's what most people miss. Dental trauma isn't always visible. No cast. No crutches. Just a smile that looks fine, until it doesn't. And that invisible battle is what she decides to expose. She reveals that stress can trigger flare-ups. Touring schedules. Long rehearsals. Dry mouth from stage adrenaline. Tiny factors stacking into one explosive failure. And that explains the timing. You're probably thinking this ends with a simple fix. Crown replaced. Problem solved. It doesn't. Structural instability means constant monitoring. Maintenance never truly stops. By 4:26 p.m., she pivots the narrative completely. She urges followers to get second opinions. To question rushed procedures. To advocate early. The tone shifts from vulnerable to powerful. This is bigger than enamel and porcelain. It's about trusting your gut when something feels off. About not ignoring pain because you're expected to perform. And that resonates far beyond music. Right now, as she schedules yet another follow-up, the debate continues. Oversharing or awareness? vulnerability or strategy? One emergency becomes a movement, and where it leads next is wide open. June 18, 2:12 p.m. The temporary crown cracks while she's rehearsing harmonies. Small fracture. Quick fix, they think. But the X-ray shows hairline damage along the root, and that's when the panic sets in. She schedules an emergency adjustment at 6:40 p.m. Tightened fit. Stronger adhesive. She walks out hopeful. By midnight, swelling doubles, pressure builds, and the pain radiates to her ear, worse than before. At 3:06 a.m., her tour manager gets the call. 2 shows may need rescheduling. Now it's not just medical, it's contractual. Crew, venues, ticket holders. The circle widens fast. By June 19, 9:15 a.m., a brief statement appears, minor dental adjustment. That's it. No mention of fractures. No swelling. A soft phrase hiding a sharp reality, and people start noticing the gap. Stop. Look at the wording. Routine. Preventative. Those words don't match 3 a.m. swelling and cracked roots. And once fans compare timelines, the narrative begins to crack too. Meanwhile, June 20, 1:22 p.m. A dental specialist in Nashville reviews her scans remotely. The verdict? Possible underlying bone instability. Not cosmetic. Structural. And that changes the stakes entirely. She agrees to a stabilization procedure on June 22 at 8:05 a.m. Pins. Reinforcement. A stronger base. It sounds reassuring, until post-op bruising spreads further than expected. And here's the number that jolts everyone: 72 hours of strict vocal silence. No singing. No interviews. Complete rest. For a touring artist, that's not inconvenience, that's crisis. But silence creates space. And space invites speculation. By June 23, fan forums dissect old interviews, pointing to moments she winces mid-laugh. Were the signs there all along? Time jump. June 24, 10:48 p.m. A rehearsal leak surfaces, her voice slightly strained. Not dramatic. Just different. And suddenly, dental instability becomes a career conversation. She tries to reassure everyone on June 25 at 11:11 a.m. I'm okay. Calm smile. But swelling is still visible along the jawline. The visual says more than the caption. Then a deeper issue surfaces. Chronic dental trauma can affect sinus cavities. Pressure shifts. Resonance changes. For a vocalist, that's not minor, that's identity. June 26, 7:32 p.m. A backup vocalist steps forward to cover high harmonies. Subtle. Professional. But insiders know that adjustment signals something bigger behind the scenes. And that's when we find out she has been managing microfractures for years, quietly, between albums, between tours. The emergency wasn't sudden. It was inevitable. You feel that shift, right? This isn't about one cracked crown. It's about a foundation under constant repair. And foundations don't fail quietly, they collapse loudly. June 27, 9:05 a.m. A second opinion suggests possible implant revision within 6 months. That's major surgery territory. Recovery timelines stretch. Tour dates hang in limbo. The team drafts contingency plans. Alternate set lists. Fewer high belts. Acoustic versions. Smart adjustments, but fans start connecting dots faster than management expected. By June 28, 4:44 p.m., screenshots circulate comparing her jawline from May to now. It feels invasive. It feels uncomfortable. And yet, it spreads anyway. The cover-up language grows softer. Routine care. Preventative step. But internally, discussions shift to long-term stabilization strategies. 2 narratives running parallel, and they're drifting apart. June 29, 8:58 p.m. She stands on stage again. Spotlight bright. Smile steady. But if you look closely, the harmony is lower, the phrasing adjusted. The spiral isn't over, it's evolving. June 30th, 9:14 p.m. Mid-chorus. She leans into the note. The spotlight flares. For half a second, her hand lifts toward her mouth, and the entire arena feels something shift. The note wavers. Not dramatically. Just enough. Her jaw tightens. You can see the muscle flicker beneath stage makeup. The band keeps playing, but she blinks twice, slower than usual. She shifts her weight to the left. Microphone lowers half an inch. The harmony drops a step. It lasts 2 seconds. But in those 2 seconds, something gives. The camera operator hesitates. Zooms out instead of in. Crowd noise swells to cover the change. And from the front row, her husband stands up abruptly. Backstage at 9:17 p.m., her vocal coach sees the live feed. Freezes. Rewinds 10 seconds. Watches her jaw lock on replay. And that's when the message gets typed. 14 million views in 36 hours. By July 1st, 8:02 a.m., the clip circulates everywhere. Immediate circle first, bandmates texting, family calling, management scrambling. Is she okay? Becomes the only question in every thread. Then the headlines hit. Onstage health scare. Career at risk? The freeze frame of her hand at her mouth becomes the thumbnail seen across millions of screens. Social media dissects it frame by frame. Screenshots circle the jawline. Quotes from her inevitable confession resurface. And once again, the word trauma trends, louder than before. At 6:30 p.m., she posts a single photo. No caption. Just her hand over her smile. Comments explode. Silence stretches. The real diagnosis? Still unspoken. The next decision? Still unknown.